Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to do something a little different. We are going to become top-tier management consultants. See, our client is Cow Brothers, a fantastic premium ice cream company, but they have a massive goal: find an extra $50 million in sales. So, we're going to break down exactly how a real consultant would tackle this thing, from structuring the problem all the way to finding that one game-changing idea. So, here's our roadmap for cracking this case. First, we'll size up the challenge, what I'm calling the $50 million scoop. Then we'll get into the mindset, the real toolkit of a consultant. After that, we'll dig into all the options on the cable, which you'll see leads us straight to our final 3-point plan. And then, of course, we'll wrap up with the big lesson you can take away from all this. Let's get into it. Okay, you can't solve a problem until you really, truly understand it. So first things first, let's meet our client, Cow Brothers Premium Ice Cream, and get a handle on just how big of a goal they've set for us. $250 million. This is the number that kicks this whole thing off. The company president, Winston Cow, he isn't just, hoping for a little growth. He has a very specific and very ambitious target. Hit $250 million in sales by next year. This isn't a wish, this is our mission. Now, if you look at where they are today, you can see Cow Brothers is no slouch. I mean, they're already a huge player, pulling in $200 million in sales, sitting comfortably at number 3 in the entire market. Their brand is strong thanks to that really catchy Have a Cow campaign, and they're going toe-to-toe with giants like Häagen-Dazs and Ben & Jerry's. So our challenge isn't about saving a failing company. It's about taking a successful one and launching it into a whole other stratosphere. And here's where the problem really snaps into focus. Last year, the company grew by 10%, which is pretty good. The whole industry grew a bit faster at 12%. But our target is 25% growth. That's a $50 million jump. It's more than double their own recent growth rate and way faster than the market itself. This tells us one thing, loud and clear. Doing more of the same, even the successful stuff, well, it's just not going to cut it.
So, the big question is, how do you even start to tackle a problem this massive without just throwing random ideas at a wall and hoping something sticks? Well, you start with structure. You build an architecture for your thinking.
And this right here is the secret weapon of pretty much every top consultant out there, the Me-See principle. It stands for mutually exclusive, collectively exhaustive. Now, in plain English, all that means is you break a problem down into pieces that don't overlap. That's the mutually exclusive bit. And you make sure that altogether those pieces cover every single possibility. It's about leaving no stone unturned. It's how you map out the entire problem so you know for a fact you haven't missed anything. And here we can see MEIS in action, our very first level of thinking. To increase sales, you can really only do 3 things, right? You can sell more stuff, you can get more money from each transaction, or you can just raise your prices. Notice how these are totally separate buckets, and together, they cover every possible way to boost revenue. It's simple, but man, is it a powerful way to start. From that simple foundation, we can build out a second, more strategic level. We can think about growth using 5 main levers. We could expand where we sell, what we sell, how we market, or we could diversify into totally new areas, or even buy a competitor. This framework gives us a complete menu of options to go investigate. This is our roadmap. Okay, so with our Me-See framework all built out, we're no longer staring at this giant, intimidating number. Instead, we have a nice, neat, structured list of things to check out. Now we get to put on our detective hats and start analyzing each one, separating the promising leads from the total dead ends. Okay, let's start with the easiest one from our level 1 tree, just increasing prices. A quick look at the market shows that Cow Brothers' prices are exactly the same as their competitors. In a market this fierce, if you raise prices, you're probably just going to send your customers running over to Ben & Jerry's. So, we can confidently cross this one right off the list. It is not the path to growth. All right, so what about strengthening the core business? Well, we could bring in a larger 2-point container that would hit the increase amount of each sale branch on our tree. And that Have a Cow campaign was a huge hit, so putting more money behind it is kind of a no-brainer. And of course, we can look at a map and find regions where we're weak and target them. These are all good, solid, logical moves. But we have to ask ourselves, will this stuff get us all the way to that 25% target? Unlikely. Not on its own. To find the big, transformative idea we need to hit that goal, we have to think a little differently. This classic quote from Ted Levitt's famous article, Marketing Myopia, is absolutely key here.
He argued that companies often fail because they define their business by what they sell, like buggy whips, instead of the customer need they actually meet, like transportation. This is such a critical mindset shift. And that brings us to maybe the most important question in this entire case. Is Cowbrothers just an ice cream company? Or is it something bigger? What if they see themselves as being in the high-quality, gourmet dairy business? That completely reframes what's possible. Their brand doesn't just mean great ice cream, it means premium quality dairy. And that simple reframe, it unlocks a whole new universe of growth. This new perspective leads us straight to diversification. Cowbrothers can use their powerful brand to launch a new line of gourmet cream cheeses. And this isn't some random jump, right? It's a related category where their reputation for quality gives them instant credibility. They can use their existing supermarket channels, but get this, they can also open up totally new ones, like bagel shop chains, where they could even cross-sell their single-serving ice creams. This is the big idea. This is the non-obvious move that could actually get them to that $50 million goal. Okay, so we've done the analysis, we've looked at the small improvements, and we've uncovered a potential game changer. Now it's time to bring it all together into a clear, compelling, and, most importantly, actionable plan to present to Winston Cow. Here it is, our final three-pronged recommendation. First, amplify. Double down on the Have a Cow campaign. It's working, so let's push it harder. Second, expand and diversify. Grab those easy wins with a new 2-pint container while making the big, bold move into gourmet cream cheese. And third, explore acquisition. Start looking for a smart, strategic buyout of a regional player to instantly beef up your presence in a weak market. This plan perfectly balances strengthening the core business with that transformative push they need to hit 25% growth. Now that we've delivered the recommendation, let's just step back for a second and look at the key takeaways from this whole process. Because this isn't just about ice cream. It's about a really powerful way to solve problems. This case is just a brilliant illustration of the consultant's toolkit. We started by putting a number on the goal, which told us how big our solution needed to be. We figured out that business as usual couldn't get us there. Then, the crucial step, we used that MECE framework to structure our thinking, which made sure we looked at everything. And that structure is what led us to reframe the business from ice cream to gourmet dairy, which is what ultimately unlocked the cream cheese idea. It just goes to show you that real outside-the-box thinking is often the result of a very disciplined, inside-the-box process. And that brings us to our final thought. Cowbrothers' real power wasn't just in making ice cream. It was in their brand's reputation for quality. That brand was the key that unlocked a whole new market. So the question to leave you with is this. What is the core strength of your business? And what adjacent, unexpected opportunity, what is your cream cheese idea, could that strength unlock for you?